Yo. So recently I've made a couple of videos specifically about copyright disputes and using the system that YouTube has built in to dispute some kind of copyright thing when a company or um, a person makes a claim on something that you put in a video. And I've done the Doctor Strange one, and this one's a FIFA one. And these are for videos that, the Doctor Strange one is in the Doctor Strange thing. And, is in this one, James Samuel is Carl Mordo from Doctor Strange, because, you know, every indication is that something is this is just me kind of saying stuff. However, it's working, I'm not exactly sure. But that, like, a giant computer has been trying to, like, I don't know, make stuff around me to like steal from my what would be intellectual property from me, and is like making it into content that can then be sold to people, and like I'm not making any money from it. But my main point actually isn't that I'm trying to make money. It's that I think, being the like at the end of the Bible, there's the seven churches of Asia, which just seems to be like the sword in the stone from the sword in the stone. If you pull Excalibur out of the stone, you get to be king. If you do the things at the seven churches of Asia in Revelation, you get to be King of Kings, Lord of Lords. I mean, it literally, the last one is, "I'll grant you to sit with me on the throne," and that's after you get the name of Jesus' father written on you, and Jesus' new name is written on you, and you get the iron rod and the morning star and the stone with a new name written on it, eat from the tree of life and the crown of life. You get all these gifts which culminate into making you, or me, because I'm the one doing it, the one from Revelation 19. And so, anyway, it seems like everything that can possibly put up a roadblock for me is doing that. And so, and I think at some point something had struck me to like steal from me in this way, and bringing it out into the light, it doesn't really stand. Um, and so I think this has become a cancerous situation that is hurting people, and people are literally getting cancer around it. When I speak about the Sword and the Stone, the King of England has cancer now, and has cancer after I said people would start getting sick, and like all the people who are doing this to me would start, would get sick and have like disaster brought on them, and then and calamity and whatnot. On top of all the other, like, the lightning stuff that you can see from the Lightning Lab videos and whatever, that is, very clearly abnormal, right? So I, I have an older channel, Yo TV, and on that channel, which I ran from like end of summer 2018 to like April of 2019, and I didn't run it longer because I was thrown in jail, and then after I got out of jail, there were certain like stipulations, regarding like a like pretrial intervention and stuff, where if I like keep if I'm a good little boy, I can get out of the charges, even though the charges, based on what I can seemingly prove out at this point, appear to be bullshit. And in the least, there's a situation going on that would obviously supersede what these people have said. And my whole point is, yeah, I'm pretty sure they were participating. I think I have in the least circumstantial evidence that they were participating. In the most, it's just obvious that people are participating, and like this is the way they can shut me up and stop me. But if they use the legal system and I caught them and they've lied or perjured themselves, the detective in the situation, Detective Nick Vo here in Houston, Texas, can't tell if he's a good guy who just couldn't perceive what's going on, or if he's a bad guy and he's corrupt. And so, I say either inept or corrupt. I'm not trying to insult him, but my life has been destroyed by this, so I need some justice, and the police aren't giving it. Again, they had all the police in the world to send to me and harass me, literally droves of police officers when I'm live streaming my reality, but they didn't have enough police officers to handle 260,000 cases that they specifically used a code to pass over here, including rape cases where the suspect from that case went on and raped other people. So am I in the wrong or are the police in the wrong? It looks, every indication is that the police are in the wrong, right? And I've spent, after 2019 going through all that, I was a good little boy and I spent a bunch of time making my point that, well, look, I will act right and make an attempt. Again, I'm being robbed and messed with, and even during this recent period where I'm being a good little boy, and I'm saying that sarcastically, but where I'm being good and doing the right thing, even according to whomever else, I'm being just a normal guy. I'm going and playing soccer here. I got my. You can go to my link tree, and I got multiple channels. I got my Instagram, but main channel where I just put up video game and all sorts of stuff. Video game, like that's this channel, and I wasn't doing anything relating to mental health stuff until this got untenable. But storm videos and playing Counter Strike and playing Call of Duty, and I'm gonna say this is really the point that, like, okay, if she's coming out this directly and just mocking and taunting the situation, again, I would suggest that is more taunting of the police than anything that I've done, because this is literally like, she's taunting me and taunting y'all and saying like, hey, look at, I was able to get over something on him where he went to jail, where the police listened to me, the liar, instead of not Matthew the liar, Stephanie Houston the liar. Though they didn't even really look at her, they just pretended that that wasn't happening, even though clearly it is, and clearly the power dynamic is way off. She has like 180,000 followers on YouTube. I mean, on Instagram, I have 200. I'm like, unless people are lying to me about my situation, which would also be a problem and hurtful. And literally, I think is part of the thing that's crippling me is that people aren't allowing me to see what's really going on around me. Um, but my whole point with this is like, look, I can have weird beliefs that I might affect the lightning, which there's a pattern of. But whether you believe it or not, I'm allowed to record videos and be like weird and crazy. That's as long as I'm not hurting people, right? Up to a certain point, though, I mean, I'm getting hurt and I need help on this. And here's something NASA. I'm like watching NASA events and volcano stuff and earthquake stuff, and I'm just trying to make the point here that on and I'm going to dance music shows, and I'm uh, you know I'm making mixes and stuff like this, and like just being me, and I've gotten in a lot better shape, and played a lot of soccer and met a lot of people and made friends. I don't know if people are really my friends, because it feels like I'm in some kind of weird situation where I don't, where people know but they don't want to tell me. But going to dance music concerts and making these videos, which I think these videos are like, you don't get any videos like this. You also don't get mixes like I make. I think you could ask any DJ and they'd be like, this dude makes some cool mixes. Oh, hey, look, hey, it's me doing ambush stuff where I'm opening my, these ambush NFT things that I got, like, which are, rare NFTs connected to like physical items and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, Beyonce and Jay-Z doing stuff with ambush, and like, part of my point is like they seem to be connected to, they are very obviously connected to Jay Electronica, and Jay Electronica is directly connected to all of this, even in my life, even like, I've met him. I've talked to him. I've like tried to reach out about this situation, and he seems to, he is directly participating. But my whole point is that like that one is like, well, I haven't met Beyonce or Jay Z, but I've met Jay Electronica. He knows who I am, and it's the type of, these are the types of things where it's like people trying to bullshit like they don't know. Okay, well, the thing with James Samuel would suggest that they do indeed know who I am, even if they don't like me and they're gonna say whatever bullshit about it. It's my point to show that like something's going on where even like celebrities that, if I'm a normal person, why the fuck are these people engaged towards my reality at all? If I'm the guy conquering at the seven churches of Asia and they're, some group of people hired to like, fuck with me, okay, that's a completely different thing. That seems to be what's going on. But my whole point with this is I'm just being, I'm being good. I'm doing whatever. I'm staying fit and playing soccer and making storm videos and trying to be normal again and whatever. And I've been doing this for a while at this point, and so you know I'm just getting over the point that I've done the right thing as much as I can. and that at a certain point this became absurdly, like literally untenable, right? When Stephanie Houston did Stephanie Houston as Matt, which again I think she's a woman being used by a bunch of men to like harass me and fuck with me. And why? Because I'm looking for like I'd like a wife, right? Or a harem of wives, but a wife that is not a whore that is like I'm attracted to. I think I think I'm allowed to want that. If you don't like it, too bad. I want that. If I want that and someone wants to be that, putting up roadblocks in front of me and like trying to hurt me with women and trying to fuck with like weird sexual things and sacrificing like virgin girls to like hurt me physically and to like fuck with my head is wrong. I don't have to explain why that's wrong. That's also what the third and fourth church are talking about in the book of Revelation with Jezebel and like Balaam and Jezebel and these false prophets that are using traps, food sacrificed to idols, and food is a euphemism for sex. So, that being said, I want to go look at this dispute from YoTV, and this is from. So if we go back here, and this was a very difficult time, and while I do say some extreme stuff now, I've chilled out because I recognize that it doesn't exactly get me further, even if I'm being honest, and it's like what it is. So you can see here, August 21st, 2018. Hey, whose birthday is that around? I wonder. Um, but so we go, and maybe something happened around then. Probably. Um, all these people. Like it does seem like there's a lot of evil stuff going on to me, and like being hidden, and like I'm still just tuned into it, and like why? Because like the whole thing wraps up with me, like pulling this, whatever's attacking me, like in some kind of fortress, like citadel, where it doesn't have to be like a physical citadel, but in the way that the Bible talks about in the book of Proverbs, like a wise man can pull down a city or a citadel of whatever, like I mean, just using some wisdom that can be had. So I wanted to go to this, and you can see all the videos around it, but there's a copyright strike on this video, and it's blocked. And it's kind of like I wanted to do this publicly. There's actually several videos like that. Some of them are actually blocked to the point where it won't even let me, because it's too long of a video, it literally won't even let me like put up like try to dispute it or anything. It's just blocked, and like I would have to re-upload the video without the portions or whatever. And that's something also YouTube needs to fix. If like you were blocking a video and I've uploaded it, I need to be, and like it's already up and everything's whatever, and then you block it afterwards, you need to provide the tools so that I can unblock it if I take the right steps, if it's a copyright thing or whatever. That just makes sense. But in the same way I'm saying like fair use needs to be, when it says it's not a magical formula, it needs to be a scientific formula. I said a magical formula last night when I was talking about like the other ones up here, like this one. I say when they say it's a magical formula, I said it was a magical formula, but it isn't. It should be a scientific formula. You should be able to know. That's what science is. You should be able to know. You do this, you get this result, right? Okay, so the reason I'm bringing this up is that, obviously I made this video, Olivia Munn cancer news causes conflict with my mom, and when I watch, we can just watch the first little bit of it real fast. Yo, so last night in a video that I made, I had brought up Olivia Munn, and this is a video that went into my hard drive that didn't go on YouTube. This is one of the reasons I've even started putting these videos on YouTube now, is if people are watching the videos in my hard drive anyway, because it is zero, the probability of this being a coincidence that she came out with her cancer diagnosis within 12 hours of me saying that she would, get, that it was a cancerous situation, that all these people would get cancer, and she was one of the people that I brought up specifically, one of not very many, then okay, you should understand that, like, clearly this is a cancerous situation and people are getting cancer from it because I'm being abused and people are pretending it isn't happening. And this is a way that God, Yahweh, the Father of Jesus Christ, who I believe in, can defend me. Is like he has power over everything: life, death, cancer, not cancer. If he wants to heal you, he'll heal you. If he wants to cancer you, he'll cancer you. If you want healing, pray to Jesus, pray to Yahweh. help. Actually, what I'd say is help fix this situation because I think it's giving people cancer. To Olivia Munn, if you want your cancer gone, like for good, not like get sick again, well, take the right action. Take in this immediately. Otherwise, you're getting what you deserve, and I'm gonna show that. So, and I had explained that the people harassing me, including Olivia Munn, would get cancer, and like last night and this morning, I said that, and then all of a sudden, Olivia Munn comes out and says that she has cancer, and that she's gotten a double mastectomy in order to remove it, and that it's an aggressive form of cancer that uh, didn't like show up on a mammogram that she got 2 months before the diagnosis, and that 90 something genetic tests like were negative, and that she is like she probably thought she would never get cancer or something, and then all of a sudden she gets cancer, an aggressive form of cancer. And I've been saying it not just about her, but in regards to Alessandra Ambrosio, because I'm absolutely being harassed and attacked by her. Or again, something is up with that. That's actually the most like I'm directly saying like that is the one that is bothering me the most. That and this the Stephanie Jewson thing is bothering me a lot because it's so obvious now. But the one that is like the biggest thorn in my side, seemingly, is like literally the thing that's crippling me on my right side, I think, is the Alessandro Ambrosio thing. That, based on what I can perceive, and again, my whole point is something is trying to prevent my ability to perceive the sensitive, innate, like whatever the spiritual or whatever the reality is around this situation, that people are using advanced techniques of that you can hide. It's like if you have super advanced knowledge of like how people work and you can strike someone in a way that like is plausibly deniable and you can hide it. If I bring it out, then you can't do that and you've been caught and you'll probably get cancer. You know what I mean? But you know, if I couldn't, it would just kill me or drive me crazy. And the whole point with the Stephanie Houston thing and her most recent content is she's working with some kind of terrorist who's trying to get people, or some kind of criminal mastermind or something, evil Satan person who's trying to get people to either commit suicide or commit acts of terrorism. Now, what I feel like I'm doing counterterrorism. To the terrorists, it would look like terrorism. To the like Hamas people who like rape executed teenage girls on October 7th, what Israel is doing looks like terrorism. But it's counterterrorism because they're the terrorists and they don't want to take responsibility for their actions. The Arabs that are pretending to be Palestinians don't want to take responsibility for the war that they started in 1948. Instead of their, starting a country, they started a war. And since then, none of the Arabs want to take responsibility for it. They all want to pretend it's something else. They want to pretend the situation's different than it is. And it's being empowered by a fake religion that's causing a lot of problems, like a knockoff religion. Again, Allah is a female deity, just even based linguistically. So, okay, let's watch this. My whole point with that is Alessandra Ambrosio is really the one that I'm most specifically saying in that video. Like whatever's going on with that, where something is actively like trying to keep whatever that situation is like hidden and like where they're like at an arm's length and I can't reach out and say like, hey, I need you to come here and like speak to this situation where I think that is the thing that is most affecting whatever is going on with my leg and my arm and my right side. Just like my deepest intuition, and like when my deepest intuition was telling me that Stephanie Houston is being used in a capacity to mess with me, and maybe it took 7 years to completely confirm it out. I mean, actually longer than 7 years, but 7 years since all this started. I mean, since 2017, it's been 2,520 days. Well, okay, then do I have to wait 7 years to see some results, or would people just say like, okay, he is perceiving something, maybe we're missing, maybe we should look into it, maybe we should give him the capability to look into it, or even just how about this? They come like Alessandro and Anja Ambrosio come and talk and engage me face to face, and we actually like sort out what's going on, and you could like I record the whole thing, the whole interaction, or an interview, the whole interview of An interview with the vampire. Anyway, that's a joke. Trying to maintain humor. But where I'm basically like, okay, how like I can show you a pattern where it very clearly seems to be like you see that this stuff is going on where people are harassing me. You're participating silently, but you were like the biggest culprit in all this, next to Stephanie Houston. It just seems like the next step is Stephanie Houston is Alessandra Brosco. And maybe, the whole thing is Stephanie Houston literally her art and the stuff generated around her is like she plays in a thing called Alessandra and the Fitter, like here. You click it, she plays in this thing. Uh, and you can see she plays in stuff that seems to be directly like pointing at me to get something from it. The road to repentance and whatever, like that would make sense in certain things, except the road to repentance would have been speaking up and like not being such a shithead. But she's a bad person. All these people are bad people. So and like not like not in any good way. So Alessandra in the Fitter, and then she plays Alessandra. Do you see why? Like this is what I'm saying with like Implosion Zero Day. And anyway, so and Olivia Munn is specifically like brought up in the video, and I'll show you that. And like that video is on my expanded hard drive, so we could look at that later, but maybe not in this video. We will look at it in because I do look at it in this video. Okay. Something's going on and someone won't fill me in, and people are pretending like it's not happening. And when I explained to my mom, like, hey, this morning, like on a video, early in the morning, like 2 a.m., I said Olivia Munn would get cancer. Uh, and then she comes out today saying, all of a sudden that she has cancer, like as I'm looking at this. And then, my mom responds with, I don't know, you're sounding kind of crazy. And it's like, yeah, it is crazy that I said this person would get cancer, and then it turns out she had already gotten cancer, and like comes out today. And I'm not saying everybody who has cancer that is connected to this. I do think that we could figure that out, and I do think it's connected to like sexuality more than people and relationships more than people would want, because that's literally indicated in the Bible that some form of rot or internal disease can be had by improper relationship between man and woman, or improper relationship, but or by improper I mean like in something where one of the two parties is like trying to hurt each other, or maybe even just doing it on accident or whatever. In any instance, like I'm not saying everybody is getting cancer because of this, but it does seem like a number of parties connected to this in positions of power and authority, and people who could have done something for and haven't for years have like started getting cancer, or have had cancer and have hidden it, like in the same way they've hidden Kate the Princess of Wales. They didn't acknowledge that she had cancer until like the last moment, because they're just gonna be like, if she just dies, and then what do they do? Oh yeah, actually she died from cancer that we've been hiding. No, so they kind of have to at a certain point. And the same thing with Olivia Munn, and the same thing with King Charles. Like at a certain point, these people who are just directly connected, which I'm going to show, like, hey, you're going to see Olivia Munn makes numerous appearances in these videos on this channel, and then also on like in my mixes here. Her mix is one of the mixes that is on here. And is this the nuke? Is this time collapse? Because if I can prove this out, we're done. That's why it's the end of the Bible. Because like I think it would give me so much power to actually do right in the world, that like all this evil shit just goes away, because I can actually like stand for myself, and when I speak, something can be done about it. Instead of when I speak, the police can be brought in to tell me to shut the fuck up because someone has paid them, or lied to them. So, or just because they don't like what I'm saying. But it seems like it's hurting a lot of people that would be the case. So you can't be the good guys if that's the case. Because it seems like my private stuff is being watched, because it is, and I have plenty of evidence to show that. And instead of doing anything about it, like instead of responding reasonably when I say that, my mom's like, what you're saying sounds pretty crazy. So just like I've been saying, mental health
has been used against me, even when I'm saying truth to such a degree that literally people are dying or getting cancer, and yet still people like my mom would rather say that I'm crazy, even.
And I think, part of this whole point is my mom is one of the weapons that's being used against me because she's been told numerous times that, that I'm crazy or untrustworthy or whatever. And when I lashed out at people, I lashed out at her because when she's being told I'm crazy and I'm clearly like, in this instance, yeah, it sounds crazy, but you sound crazy for not acknowledging that, like, did my son say that Olivia Munn would get cancer and then within 12 hours she's come out? And like, there's no way that she could have seen it. So either there's some kind of spiritual connection or they're watching him. There's very little, the probability of it being anything else is like, astronomically low. The probability of it being one of those two things, Occam's razor would just suggest it's the easiest one. They're watching me in some capacity that they should not be through some kind of tour or whatever. And, I've caught them. So anyway, I just want to go through this and we'll get to the copyright dispute thing in a minute, but I do want to kind of show a little more so that you could just watch any one of these videos and maybe get the story, but you know, instead of having to watch like from video to video to video. But I can't cover everything in one video, so that's just the reality.
And though what I've just said, if true, to any degree, would disprove them saying that I'm crazy. But let me just hold on.
And then you can hear me go talk to her, and when I talk to her, she's just like, she's hard to talk to about this. She doesn't trust me. She's embarrassed about me, which okay, but like at a certain point, if I'm right, you're the embarrassing one, and it's hurting me, and it's really wrong that I'm being hurt, and like they've used you, and that I can't, no matter how honest or correct or whatever I am, that I can't convince Cheryl because people have slandered and lied on me. That's basically it. The slander has destroyed the relationship with my mom. It's not the same as it was, and it could never be. It could never be as good as it was. And I would like her to try for it to be better, but like she doesn't seem to really care. She's just more focused on dying. Like actually, she like constantly talks about like when I die this, when I die that, and it's like, well, how about you not focus on that? How about we work on getting you healthier? How about this, that, and the other? But because all this shit's going on, and because I keep getting robbed and all this shit, like I don't have the resources really to do all this. So maybe as she's retiring here, we could actually do that. But anyway,
Talking about Olivia Munn, and this is why I'm saying like something's watching me. If all of a sudden she comes out with her breast cancer diagnosis, the day like this says an hour ago, right? Okay, so when I on this thing that you can see here,
you can read the different like titles. There's reasons that I don't put these up, and like I'm allowed to be crazy and say shit to my like computer and then not put it up, right? I'm allowed to be batshit insane, actually, if I'm not hurting people, and especially if it's not public, who's even going to see it? The issue is how do I protect myself when people are doing this kind of shit and it's going on and they're looking at the shit that's going in my computer. Again, my computer's blue screen numerous times recently, and like it seems like to make a point. You know what I'm saying? Like that someone's doing it, but you know, you can read these, and it's just frustrating. It is frustrating.
right? Okay. And then
So I had clicked the wrong one, and so I go to the right one, which is it's not the one that here. I'll even go back just to elucidate or just to
on
show.
this
It's not the one where it's Olivia Munn has cancer. That's the one where I had found out that she had cancer after I made this other one, and you can see in the morning, 3:13 a.m. Alessandra and Andrea Ambrosio plus Fernanda and Chloe Moda. Logan, the movie Logan, where Wolverine is like transporting a young girl, who by the end of it calls him daddy, but is and like they're bonded and stuff, but is transporting a young girl like away from uh a group of like mercenaries that are essentially trying to like run experiments and mess with people. And being that I feel like I'm in some kind of lab where people are trying to run experiments on me, and so I got to open up, this is a company, but where I'm like I'm using this concept as a point where I have to have a secret lab and then do the lightning lab stuff where it's like this is the kind of thing where I'm saying like something is like using like Marvel and Disney and Warner Brothers, like DC and Marvel, like as if Marvel's AC and DC is DC, and like they're using these things as a way to, I think, steal from my reality, like a parasite or something. But
this thing that you can see here,
let's see.
and then hold on, this is where I actually looked at the thing. This,
and you can also see when I.
Hold on, this is where I actually looked at the thing.
So that was at 1:47 a.m. and that's 1:47 is when I remuxed the video, so it like sets the time to the moment of remuxing it, which is when you are recording something on OBS. I record into a format called FLV, and then you have to remux it. So you can assume that this is about 2 hours and 50 minutes after I actually started the video, because the video normally it says when it starts, so you can assume it's like just before midnight essentially that I did that.
This is the.
I'm trying to make the point that I could not have seen anything about Olivia Munn having cancer because she hadn't come out with it yet. I guess I could have a incredibly poignant guess, but but that seems, unlikely. Not even guess, it's like, just that I happen to be covering it. It's a coincidence. Doesn't seem likely. I don't think those would coincide randomly like that. But
I made.
and I cover the mix. You already saw the picture from the mix earlier. It's just it wasn't loading at that point. And then Olivia Munn comes out and she's doing the Psylocke thing, and Apocalypse empowers her. And part of my point with that is the end of the Bible, the Book of Revelation, is the Book of Apocalypse. And so my whole point is like it's like they're trying to steal these concepts away. And the X-Men thing is like, I mean, it's literally King Charles Xavier, and it's like this is how they're stealing the IP. It's using whatever techniques of like telepathy and using psyche to like do things like throw your voice or throw people's voices and like mess with me in like a really snaky diviner enchanter kind of way. And in the Bible, diviner enchanter is a snake, so I'm snake bitten by some kind of evil group of people. I mean, that's what it feels like. Who think instead of its spiritual powers, divine powers, it's like that people are mutants or something. I mean, that's what they're trying to make it into. So, okay, just making sure it's obvious that I covered the Olivia Munn breast cancer thing, whatever, and that, obviously we go through and, there she is. Let's see if we can get to the part where, so, and I would even say as I'm like doing this, it looks like Olivia Munn. It even looks like the pink glow is like glowing onto my, because I'm watching it on the screen, but in the video. But, my whole point is like,
Harass me, people to see and know about, and they're doing it specifically to harass me and hurt me psychologically.
yeah, to just mess with me. I mean, and like I'm saying, maybe steal IP or something. But okay. The reason I bring this up specifically is because this thing that I'm gonna go in here and like try to dispute on this video. This video is yeah, and that's just how I was titling the videos at the time. We could get into why, but anyway, the date and then Stephanie Jewston cuckold rape, because that's what I don't have a better word for it. I just call it rape these days. But whatever's going on with it, where it's like they're taking these women and using them to hurt me, it's really fucked up. And I have this 15 million merits is the thing from Black Mirror, and really it's like an example of why this is so wrong and hurtful, because it's a poignant thing, clip, but you can't see it because it's blocked. So I wanted to go in here and unblock it, and you go to video details and you're like, well, this is the one thing that's keeping this from being viewed, and it's this thing. It happens at 2:13, and so we can go to it, and it says X2. So interestingly enough, if we go to 2:13, by the way, is
Distance is tied to it, so
right here. This is 213. Okay, and this was me in 2018. And okay, so let's go back to where this specific part started because the algorithm didn't catch that it started a little earlier, but like right here essentially. But first thing you could tell, it's X-Men. Hey, Hugh Jackman. Is this a huge act, man? It seems like what they're doing is a huge act. I can hardly believe that Hugh Jackman's name is really Hugh Jackman, because it seems like it's a huge act, man. But in any instance, let's just watch this and whatever. And oh, hey, look, Olivia Munn. My whole point with this, Olivia Munn, and Predator. But okay.
that is able to. I could be also just using examples of
Hey, and it's the Stephanie Houston character again.
her and
Yeah, I'm pretty good looking guy there. But I feel like I've aged, and also my voice has gotten considerably deeper. But yeah, and I'm not even trying it. Like, so maybe something's deep in my voice because I sacked up, and maybe being in the jail maybe actually backfired on them or whatever. But in any instance, let's just watch this.
actually these other people. But shit. Let's just watch.
I mean, let's just watch. Like it's said, it's pretty much what I just said, huh? Okay, here's the idea. It's Olivia Munn versus me, and Olivia Munn is this lady because she's Asian. Is that really why? I mean, it looks like it, but no, not just because she's Asian, because she is this character. I mean, you can see in my recent videos, like the Carl Mordo one where James Samuel is Carl Mordo. Or in that video, and I show Stephanie Houston seems to be like Rachel McAdams. Like, they literally look alike. Carl Mordo, Chiweedle Ejiofor. I mean, I think I pronounced it close enough. But if I pronounced it wrong, sorry. He's a good actor. Actually, he's a good actor. And he does a great job as Carl Mordo. I mean, James Samuel does a great job as Carl Mordo because it seems to be what that is. But is it because he's black? Sure, I'm sure that's the only reason I think that he's Carl Mordo. But anyway, let's when I'm looking at this and it's like, well, you have Wolverine who has this like power where he has an extreme healing factor, but you also have Olivia Munn here that has this this power of extreme healing factor. And also remember, Wolverine is Logan. That's why even the movie is called Logan. And the word of God in the Bible, literally the word, they call it the logos, right? I call it Yod Hey Yod because that's what it's talking about, not literally the word logos. But logos, or a variant of that word is Logan, that is also used plenty of times to speak about the word and words of God. So Logan would be like, maybe there's multiple Hugh Jackmans or something, and it's a huge act man. I'm making puns here, but you can tell like there's something weird going on where I'm breaking in the least the fourth wall, maybe the fifth wall too, and maybe that's the fourth church in the Book of Revelation, the fifth church too, or something. I'm just making points. And okay, symbolically, she's got nails, she's got claws, and she's the women that are using their claws against me, and their claws are related to their sexuality. But Wolverine has claws, so maybe when I'm saying these things like bring your butthole, and I'll spread your butt and like spread your butthole, and I'll fuck you in the ass and stuff. It's mostly because they're doing this shit to me silently, and the way that I can defend myself is like, hey, fuck you. Like, I'm gonna just say it out loud. And like, that's actually what got me in trouble in 2018 when I was doing all this. But like now, it's hard to pretend that the Stephanie Houston thing isn't happening. It's hard to pretend that Olivia Munn hasn't got cancer, and that people associated with this going on aren't getting cancer at an extreme rate and won't continue to. And like, if she gets it and dies, then like, what do you think the rest of it? I mean, I would suggest one of the women that is doing this, and maybe it's Olivia Munn, maybe that's why she got the cancer, is the Jezebel character, and it says very clearly at the fourth church, I'm going to throw her on a bed of sickness. I'm going to kill her children and throw her on a bed of sickness. Some of that has to do with, it seems like they're having children in secret, or like maybe the Alessandra Ambrosio thing that I'm talking about. Are there multiple Alessandra Ambrosios? Are they having multiple sets of kids? Are they abusing the kids? Are they, you know, one of the things that I've suggested, did someone take my semen and like have a daughter that I don't know about, or a son, and they're abusing them? Whatever it is, because these are evil people, and if I sound crazy, you have to deal with the Stephanie Houston thing not before you can hold me accountable, but like, if you want me to be kind of normalish again, something has to happen with the Stephanie Houston thing, and since that opens up the door for all of this other stuff, is clear, like something is happening more than normal. It means that probably I just get leeway to like point it out, because again, if I was 7 years ahead of this, maybe more than 7 years ahead of the curve, then probably am that now. And when I'm talking about like, does Alessandra Ambrosio secretly, or is her son not actually, are her kids like half siblings and she's been they forked her, or is that Adriana Lima? Because Adriana Lima did it publicly, and my whole point is I think some of these women are doing it like secretly, where their kids are not, the fathers are different men and they know it, but they're lying on government records, which is kind of fucking up like a lot of stuff, and it just like fucks with your reality. If like, hey, does she have kids that like aren't like the dad that is being purported of being the dad is not the dad? And the scariest thing for me is like, wait, is one of the supposed Anjas my daughter? Because it looks like it, but it also, to me, at this point, what I'm saying with this is like, I can show you that they're already doing this, and you can go to Instagram, and every time you see someone with a filter on, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Except these AI masks that have come out now, which like can be empowered by OpenAI software. I don't wait, is that OpenAI Sora? Whatever, whatever. Uh, these things that can like mask people now are just like, it's just out there. That's what it is. So, and that's the reality that we live in now. On it's April Fool's. This is not an April Fool's joke. It just happens to be the day I'm recording this. I will say it was interesting to me that the dispute video, where I put up the dispute video, and the claim is on the one with Doctor Strange, right? When I hold on, video that I on this video, the thing that Doctor Strange dispute, like this scene, this was Easter Sunday, so last night or yesterday, and the scene is when Doctor Strange, Zombie Strange, is resurrecting. So I just thought that was funny, and maybe that's why they did it, is because it's a joke, because they are stealing IP, because that sounds like the Jesus thing, right? Okay, Jesus resurrecting on Easter Sunday, and that's why it was appropriate that it happened in this video on this date. Uh, and so, um, but when we're watching this, and it's just keep all those things in mind. And like, does it sound crazy? Yeah, I mean, it sounds. I understand why you'd say it's crazy. It's just something's going on, and people doing evil shit with more money. I mean, the stuff that's happening with P Diddy and all this other stuff, it should tell you, like, you know, J Lo today was just like implicated, and so like, it's only a matter of time before Jay Z and Beyonce and Rock Nation and Jay Electronica, and probably J Cole's all right. He seems like the only of them. I mean, I guess he could be secretly the most evil, but he seems the most like head on straight, kind of like, what the fuck is this? But that's just a guess. I could be wrong. He could be the mastermind. Whatever. In any instance, all this shit's crashing down. And if you're innocent, yeah, you'll probably be all right. Actually, if you're not, well, then you fucked up. But okay, let's keep going here. And I just want to watch this and kind of finish it up. But this fight where Wolverine fights X-23, Lady Deathstrike, and he defeats her in this fashion that he does, which seems very similar to like playing this out over time, letting this person, Olivia Munn, make terrible decisions, like when she literally broke up a family. Do you see the spider crawling across my? You saw that, right? I mean, it's literally, you see that, right? Am I Spider-Man now? I mean, actually, this is the type of stuff where it's like spiders don't normally like. This is the first time a spider has ever been. It's literally webbing itself down. All right, Spider Man. Sorry. Also, the laughing octopus thing that I was. I got webbing on my. No, that's my hair. I got webbing on. Nope, nope, just my hair. Um, but I mean, hopefully that picked up the spider. That actually just did happen. If I have power to control spiders like Ant Man has power to control ants, then that should also give you a clue. Like, oh shit. Okay, I just flushed it. If you like spiders, well, I do too. But he's invading my space, so if you're invading my space, that's what happens to you. Um, I mean, wow, that like, I don't know if you could see it. It wasn't maxed out, but that really, like, it wasn't a huge spider, but like, it doesn't have to be huge to have venom. Anyway, I've definitely been bit by a brown recluse, and those things aren't that big, but your flesh literally melts away. So, which it did, and I healed up pretty well. But holy, is that Wolverine? Yeah, maybe that was just why that happened, so I could illustrate it, or maybe here's the point. Look, I'm a dude who likes comic book stuff, even though it seems like maybe it just comes out of my like from me or something. But especially by the way, the bats have been going crazy. Last night I literally tried to record. I was sitting there just like, I sit at the window with the window open, I kind of meditate and I work out and stuff. And there are bats that have been flying around recently and like, there's a Waugh Bridge bat colony and like so maybe this is why Batman. But literally last night the bats flew closer than they've ever flown before. Literally like right by the window to the point where I lowered the window to make it so they'd have to like fly through something like that big to get in. But like I literally was like, whoa, like they were like right at the window. I just didn't want them to come in the house. I'm not really afraid of them. I'm kind of like not afraid of them getting in the house. I'm just like I don't want it to happen because I don't want to deal with bats in the house. So if maybe that's even me symbolically saying like if I'm Superman and Batsman's Batmen or these men who are like ninjas and stuff like that are trying to like get in the house, stay out the house, okay? You need to stay out the house. The only way a Batman is coming in is if you're gonna tell my mom, hey, Matt's not crazy. This stuff is happening. He's like I don't know, he's like Spider Man and he's been bitten by a he's just a normal guy who's been bitten by a spider. A normal kid. Because it seemed to have happened this would have especially the stuff with Alessandro Ambrosio that I'm talking about and even when the J Electronica stuff like really first started, I guess, his like how he entered into the music industry and all this and like when Beyonce started kind of going like darker and stuff like that and Metal Gear Solid 4 when because I used a lot of that in my mixes and then all of a sudden the quiet thing seems to be going on and that all started around when I was in high school around 2006, 7, 8, somewhere around there, 2009. So the gamut of when I was in high school. So at some point in high school, I guess maybe I was bit by a spider and then became Spider-Man. Or that's their joke because it's a way to denigrate Yahweh on the throne. If by the end of it, because if they were doing something and I got bit and it didn't take me down and like it was supposed to, like we're like playing the most dangerous game or whatever where it's like men hunting men and women and it's like well actually now I'm the hunter and you're the hunted and like you guys had a long time you literally shot me with the thing and it didn't work I got bit by the spider and now I'm back and I'm not it didn't work and then you did it and like I know your position it's like you've taken your shot you're like a sniper you've taken your shot and I could see the report, and now I can point out where I got shot from. Does that work? And if I'm Wolverine, well, doesn't seem like I'm dying, huh? So let's watch what happens when I guess lady who shot me. Is that who this is? I guess we'll see. In any instance, I would really like Alessandra and Anja Ambrosio to come talk to me and engage me face to face in some reasonable capacity. Are they my friends? That would be great if they came and did that. Are they my enemies? Then I'd still like them to come and be held accountable or something to hold them accountable. And it seems like, if people are getting cancer around this, my whole point is, hey, your family, you are my consciously, you guys are my number one either friends or targets. So you should decide which one you are, and I would say make a wise decision. Okay? Cool. We can either be besties, which again, she has a best friend named Matt, and it's like, is that what this is about? Like, are her fans controlling her or something? They don't want me to be her friend. I mean, I like, am I her friend, her best friend, actually? And she's trying to say that. I mean, whatever it is that what the Stephanie Justin Matt thing is about? I mean, or is that the Egypt, like, hey, there's a deity named Matt with two A's, and it's that Matt is a feminine deity who's the daughter of the deity Ray, the sun deity. My dad, Rayfield, Ray, and I'm Matt. So, Egyptians, ha 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 ha. My people, Isaiah 19. By Isaiah 19, Yahweh says, Egypt is my people, Assyria is my product, and Israel, Israel is my inheritance. 144,000 virgins on Mount Zion, my inheritance. Cool. And that's the Shin bet, and I've won the bet. And it's the Sin War, like the dude on that, who's in the target there. Pew! Can you see that? So the guy, the Arab that's pretending to be a Palestinian, right? That like these Jew hating Palestinians, Arabs are like pretending to be Palestinian, an ancient people group that no longer exists. The Philistines, or in Arabic, Philistini, because again, Arabic is just a knockoff of Hebrew. The shin is a sin in the shin in Hebrew. The letter shin in Arabic is the letter sin, and this is you got the shin bet, and this is the shin war, right? And you got the sin bet, and this is the sin war. And his name is Yahya. So I would also say to Beyonce, if you ain't talking about Yahya being Yahweh on the throne, you're empowering this guy, and it's a problem. And, my whole point is, I think they're just owned by Arabs, and this is how the Arabs are trying to make one last point. And if that's the whole Nation of Islam stuff, and I've kind of proven it out, and it's like, looks like I've won. The bet is done. Yo, it's mine. Yeah. So okay, back to this. Wait, you can see this, right? Okay, just make sure. Also, Wolverine's a dude who's been in a lab where they're testing on him. Same thing with her. Is this the Ohm unit? I mean, actually, like Olivia Munn goes by Ohm, even though her name is Lisa for all accounts and purposes. Is that a Lisa that I know? Could be. Whatever. Or like that's related to me halfways because my grandpa's doing weird shit. Could be. I mean, like Lisa and Matt Polito. I mean, it could be some shit like that. But in any instance, if it's not that and they're just family that maybe they're watching and like, hi, I know who you are. But where's the Olivia Munn thing? So Olivia Munn, right, and she goes by Ohm. And so you go down to the Spriggan mix, Yo Spriggan, and then you go, hey, Act 2, and then Act 1, and then the prayer, Ohm unit. Like Act 2 and Act 1 from both Jay Electronica and from Beyonce recently. And she's doing the Renaissance thing, and Jay Electronica was doing the Renaissance Man, and now she's doing country music. And I said, and I have it on video, speaking about Jay Electronica specifically, but I think I also might have even brought up Beyonce and other kind of like Rock Nation people. If you mixed country music and hip hop and dubstep, and it looks like she's mixed country music and hip hop, and so like we're one step off from what I said specifically. Again, this seems to be all about me recapturing IP that's been stolen from me. So I'm just making the point. What do I want to do with it? I just want to stop being hurt by this thing. I don't really care about making money from stuff. I just also want to, like, I could make my own money if people stop robbing me, but like actually. So I need to be compensated for this. I need this to be made up to me. And if that sounds crazy, fix the Stephanie Justin thing, and then like that in and of itself, there should be some compensation because I think it put Hideo Kojima, and that's why he has his own company now, because he can do it without putting a different person's company in jeopardy. But where Konami, because they are the publisher or whatever, they allowed this to happen. It seems like probably I deserve to get some compensation for a character from their video game being used to harass me and fuck with me and hurt me and stuff. So there's some I need to be compensated somehow, even by the police here in Houston. I mean, I guess they could be used again to like mess with me, but I even think at this point they recognize, like, because I'm getting these signs when people give like are subtly telling me things seemingly. It seems like there's a recognition that there was a team kill that happened where they killed me on accident. They like destroyed my life on accident. If they had recognized maybe that the Stephanie Houston thing was going on, then they wouldn't have done that. But clearly it was. Clearly it's happening. Clearly it hurt me. I need some kind of special case around my situation. What I would like is some form of sovereignty provided by the United States government. Maybe, how about this? Does King Charles want to be healed? Okay, cool. Drop all this bullshit about the X Men and whatever, and like give me some form of sovereignty and help me make up for this. And like, yo, I will pray for your healing. I will manifest your healing. I will, in the way that I'm. It seems like I manifested Olivia Munn's cancer, but or Yahweh did. If I'm the one on the throne of Yahweh, we're going to a place where I'm going to be in control anyway. So, okay. So you have some seedy military base and some, colonel. Some things been doing wrong kind of experiments, has been caught and stuff. And oh, also Wolverine's name is Logan, like logos, logon, literally the Greek word for the word, like the word of God, which it's like the word of God, which you couldn't kill because actually the word. Damn, I didn't even realize I was saying this. I probably say a lot of insightful shit about the situation back then, and just people weren't listening and didn't care, or they were and they wanted to shut me up because this is what this is about. And then all of a sudden, Olivia Munn did get cancer, and these people are getting cancer. And it looks like the shit is going on. You can clearly see the lightning lab stuff where the lightning repeatedly is like making points when I'm making points and is reacting when I'm like doing a thing. And like, yeah, I mean, clearly this shit is going on. Like, clearly. Word of God. All of existence is tied to it, so, would regenerate. Also, remember, Olivia Munn got into a relationship with John Mulvaney, a comedian, and destroyed a family around it. I mean, that's based on what I can see. And like, if we look this up, Olivia Munn said my shit came out in 2011 and no one cared. And then I said I'd love to push your shit back in because she was doing this stuff then, like in 2018. Just making sure you understand. I didn't just say it for no reason. Women deserve to be heard, but when you're doing evil stuff like she is, where you like she destroyed another woman's family. She like my whole point is like, well, you could have just John Mulvaney could have had a harem or something. If he does secretly, well, then he can't. The whole point is you can do it publicly, but if you're doing these things privately and like it's mixing with the public whatever, and you're not telling people, informing that like they're your partner or whatever, you're diseasing our society. And so when she destroys a family in order to have a kid as a rape joke, like a cuckold rape, right? Like she's cuckolded this woman actually and has raped this other woman through her action. Well, that would be a reason why she would deserve to get cancer. She's trying to keep me in some kind of psy-lock or something where it's like, the psychic lock. I mean, it's just like, congrats. I mean, I think you're a terrible person. And I've thought this for a long time, but maybe now people are really starting to see it. And then it's like, I'd love to push your shit back in. And then I shared this immediately afterwards. Why? Because, my whole point with this is that what she's saying here really pisses me off when it says,
I guess it's okay. No, I don't. It's not cheating if it's in the.
So, if that's the case, Olivia, and look, it's a snake here. Olivia, I don't care if you're with John Mulvaney because if I fuck you in the ass, it's not going to be cheating, right? I mean, based on what was just had and said here. If it is cheating, then why are you being such an evil kind of woman and you've broken up a family and destroyed someone? And, you know, why does your family deserve something good when you've not been good, right? Why does my family deserve to be destroyed for no reason when I'm like maybe the only one doing something good? At least calling other people out on their bullshit when they've hurt me. So this to me, all of this has been self-defense and people lying about it not being, well, okay. So when I say you're a subversive whore and then have a cute little tiger face there, you know, that's what I mean. If you don't agree with it and or if you think I should hold my tongue, you know, I disagree and you can see why. So yeah, I'm not taking this off yet. Again, I'm still being graceful. You could still come. You could still bring your butthole and spread it for me, and I'll fuck you in the ass, and then we can actually get some kind of like meaningful change going on, you know? But like this, you're not. Nothing that she's done is a good thing. She like what she's done is wicked and evil. And if me saying, you know, bring your butthole so I can fuck you in the ass is like some kind of like, oh no, Matt, what have you done? Yet what she's done is actually evil and has destroyed families and stuff and like she's gotten cancer because of it, well then like you know, I would say y'all have your priorities kind of flipped or wrong or whatever the fuck, but I don't think I'm like using logic, I don't think I'm the one in the wrong here. I'm just kind of an asshole about how I go about things, but that's how I deal with these people who are assholes and you know, like Olivia Munn deserve to be fucked in the asshole by someone who can actually fix the issue, unlike John Mulvaney who only made things worse. Is his joke funny? I mean, I don't think it's funnier than what I just said and did because I'm proving out a point that is just reality, and usually real things are the funniest. That's why Dave Chappelle is generally funny, other than when he's talking about Islam shit. Because you know, again, Dave, the Zam Zam well, it's not a miracle. They have plumbing. It is plumbing. You get it? So, okay, now that I've made all of this, elucidated some reality for some people, and then put my claws directly into Olivia Munn's gut here. Let's continue to watch. Also, this actress is pretty cute. I don't. There's nothing else that I'm saying other than that. But I do like. Well, first of all, wonky left eye seems like everybody that I deal with has a wonky left eye for the most part, and my right. It's like I'm looking in a mirror. Like my right eye is kind of off, and their left eye is kind of off, and maybe me having my right eye open up completely and have my right hand is what like will make them realize like oh like maybe he's who he. I can see now. He really is who he's claiming to be. Or, you know, he really is this person who he wasn't claiming to be at first, and then, like, turns out he is him. Yo, the guy conquering at the Seven Churches of Asia. Yo, right? Yeah. I don't know if you can see this. Can you? Yeah, you should be. It's where I am, literally. I'm, like, blocking it because it's me. And, um, but she's wearing contacts, too, so that's not affecting this eye. I just, you know, she looks different because she's wearing contacts, but okay. Also, I guess this. Wait. I guess this could be Jessica Shim because part of my point is like biblically in Hebrew. Hey, Shemot Exodus. Oh, Shem OT. Is it? Are we in overtime? uh, if I go here and it's like Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. I thought God wasn't a man. Wait, well, it does just very clearly say Yahweh is a man of war, but that's not for this video. We're not going to get into that here. Actually, we might get into it a little. I'm just going to look at this. Yahweh is a man of war. What is the word war? Milkma. Milkma. M-L Kaf Mim Lamed Chet Mim Hey. Milkma. Milkma or Malcolm? Malcolma? Malcolma. Isn't Kama or Kama, isn't that something to do with Venom? Yeah, I think that is that. In any instance, let's Shim, the name Shim, and then if you go in the New Testament, in the book of Apocalypse here, I couldn't find it. I know exactly where it is on Revelation 3, so I'm just going to use that. This is definitely a longer video than I thought it was going to be, but, you know, hey, I've been making a lot of these recently. I don't think it's going to be 5 hours, but because I'm going to, once we finish watching this, I'm going to go to the... This is where it says I'm going to go to dispute the claim, do it, and then end it. But here's the, and obviously I've proved it's my IP, right? On Ohm? Okay, probably. Here's the, if we go to the deity and the name of the one, the deity, and this is where it says, where at the 7 churches, Jesus says, I'm going to write the name of my Father on you, and the name, and my own new name, and the name of the New Jerusalem, and they're all Yahweh. It's all just one name. In the same way the Trinity is just like, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. No, it's just one name. It's, instead of using the word Trinity, just say Yahweh, and it accomplishes the same thing. In fact, Trinity is not the name of Yahweh. Yahweh is the name of Yahweh. All right, so Yah is the name of Yahweh, right? So yo or Yah, whatever. Depends on how it's prefixed or suffixed. Anyway, Shim, Hebrew, Old Testament. Jessica Shim. I don't know Jennifer Shim really, but Jessica Shim. Married Matt Weber. Was that the spider that we just saw? And like, you know, oh, it's a Spider-Man joke. Okay, and then on Om, or is this Anja? Like Anja Ambrosio, but it's on Om? Right? Okay. The name authority character, I mean, is that why she's Jezebel and got cancer and she's being thrown on a sickbed or something? I don't know. Is it? What is it? It's the same way the Carter lady from, you know, the Meeting with the Illuminati and the Carl Mordo video that I just did. I said it was a Kate, but is it Beyonce? And that's the joke. She's a British lady, a white British lady, soldier, a white British soldier lady from Britain. Could be. In any instance, name. Shim, shame. Well, it's just Shim, actually. This is also why I think the fake, you know, people pretending to be Jewish say, ha, Shim, because the name. But, you know, it's just so a bunch of people would try to steal away IP. Instead of saying the name Yahweh, they'd say literally the name, even if it doesn't have anything to do. I'm closing that, and we're going to watch this. So, right, they're trading blows, and they're kind of back and forth, and it's not really, you know, they're button heads and stuff, or, you know, whatever's going on, but, like, you're not going to have a winner because they both have a healing factor, and so, you know, one of them's going to have to do something to try to change what they're doing, you know what I mean? So, like, one of them's going to have to do something a little trickier or whatever. Also, I just want to point out it says film it box down here, and I feel like I'm in some kind of box. Like I'm like, I am the man in the box. Because I feel like I'm in some kind of box that like I can't reach out of, and people can't get into me, and maybe that's what it's talking about. I'll open a door that nobody's gonna be able to open or close or whatever. Anyway, drawing a lot of blood.
That's it. Oh, where do you think you're going? Sick of this kids' table shit. I'm going.
Also, I'm pretty sure the gold at the end of the Bible is I can just do all this shit. People have been trying to like actually take that from me, and the gold is I can just do it again. Actually, that's, you know,
These are all things. These are all powers, literally, that God has actually
The Yahweh has
given
specifically.
comic book characters is, it's not actually where they lie.
In there.
John, they told us to stay here.
I just want to say my voice in this sounds like Rami Malek from Mr. Robot. Like, specifically the character Elliot. When I'm talking like this, like I didn't even like looking back on it, I didn't even realize I was talking like that. Maybe I'm talking in a way that like right now that I don't even realize I'm talking. Probably, I guess. Yeah.
Do as you're told.
John, they told us to stay here.
You always do as you're told.
Also, just want to point out you got the two ninjas like Scorpion and Sub Zero. You got Iceman, who's Sub Zero, and you got Scorpion, the fire breathing fire ninja. That is Pyro. Or Batman, Ice Ninja, Superman with the laser eyes, Pyro, Scorpion. Sub-Zero, Batman, Iceman. On the other hand, Pyro, Scorpion, and Superman. You get it just because of the hot and cold. And in Revelation, when it talks about, I know you are neither hot nor cold. I wish you were one or the other, but since you're not, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. It's probably because both hot and cold. And it's, because that's what it is. And when those things meet in what we, on our world actually, what do we get? Oh, hey, is that a tornado? Because that's what you get. You get extreme weather. Yeah, tornado warning. Observed tornado, Green, Missouri. And I'll say this. There's a girl who is following my YouTube channel who was like messaging me a lot. She was always reaching out. She was like a young teenage girl. She was always really nice to me. I tried to be always really kind to her and like not inappropriate. But like, the situation that's going on around me isn't normal. And all of a sudden, like, I feel like something got to her, or I can say this just in a really normal thing. I think she was getting bullied and really like seemed like suicidal actually, or in the least really sad. And some of it has to do with, I think a lot of young girls when they're dealing with this kind of stuff, like other girls when they're at school and stuff, they're getting bullied and messed with and stuff. And the Asia Clay situation here at Chester Nimitz High School where they're bullying her based on what some other girl said, and they literally like it's the fights broke out and they covered it in the news here. But specifically about Maddie Mills, this Maddie's life, who was from St. Louis, and she followed me, and again for like a year and a half, she was just every video. She was the first to comment. She was always really nice, and like it was really sweet, and I was happy to have like, hey, oh, finally a teenage girl likes me. It only took me to get older than is appropriate, but like finally, because when I was a teenager, they hated me. But my whole point with this, maybe Andrea Brozo doesn't hate me. Maybe she's actually my friend or daughter or dog or dogter. If she's my dogter, well, then that's awesome. But like actually, that would be if she's my best friend and my dogter. This is also the clause, because if she's not, this is super insulting to someone who's fucking with, like, whose mom is messing with me and who seems to be also participating in it. But if she's my friend, then she would find this hilarious, I think. So she's my dogter. It's like, it's also like a doctor, but she's a dogter. Get it? Okay. Because I need her and her mom, my joke has been they're dogs, and I need, like, they're like service dogs, seeing eye dogs, because like, here's the thing that I was talking about, the Obi-Wan Nairobi and getting the what's that called, the like IP for Daredevil for the SAS, those who dares wins, and I'm Daredevil. That's the joke. I'm Matt Murdock, the blind lawyer. I mean, because I'm blind, that's the joke. So I need some service dogs. Also, maybe, if they identify as dogs, if Alessandro Ambrosio and Andre Ambrosio identify as dogs, can they come be my service dogs? Because I need service dogs, and Andre can be my dogter. But anyway, Maddie Mills was like really seemingly depressed and stuff, and like she seemed like suicidal to me, and or in the least she seemed really depressed and like left, like her stuff was depressing. Like she was posting stuff that was like it would be early indications of like some kind of like mental health issue relating to depression. I would, personally, I want to be here as long as I can. I'll fight to be here. Whereas other people, that's not how they think. And with her, it's like, hey, whatever it is that like bullied her off the internet, I just wanted to tell her like, hey, like I appreciated her as a person and as her, and like that shouldn't have happened. The same way that I tried to like at least speak up a bit for Asia Clay, like, and if Maddie wants to be friends too, we can be friends. Like, maybe she's not my doctor, but she can definitely be a good friend, and okay, and she didn't need to be like feel like bad for whatever, and I'm trying. On one hand, I'm like tearing into Olivia Munn for being a huge butthead, and on the other hand, I'm trying to like make a point. Like I'm not just completely like some asshole who wants to see hurt on people. In fact, like my whole point is I want to stop hurting, and I want other people who are going through similar or like whatever any kind of situations that are not good. We can find solutions and fix those problems. And I can only speak to things that I have that are in my reality, and these are things in my reality, right? And like even if it's some kind of virtual reality where I'm doing everything over a computer screen, it's still something that I can speak to because I've at least like observed it to some degree, right? Okay, so Maddie, if you want to be friends, I'd love to be your friend, and I'm not gonna tell you that you're weird or ugly or whatever. Like that's what she was just like, that's what I felt. I got the vibe is like all these other girls were picking on her. Same thing with Asia Clay. Like, you want a friend? Like I like. How about this? Tell in the same way I'm saying they should not let people bully you in high school. Can you speak up and say, hey, they shouldn't like you guys can't bully Matt like over the internet. I mean, you guys have how many thousands of tens of thousands, millions of subscribers. Like he's just a guy, right? If I'm not, then it's like he's either just a guy or he's not just a guy. But if he's just a guy, you can't do this to him. And if he's not just a guy, why aren't you listening to him? It's one or the other. But okay, this is what happens when hot and cold meets. So speaking of the hot and cold ninjas and whatever, what you can see here is this. This is what happens. That's a pretty interesting looking storm setup. So also probably going to have some severe stuff, especially as we're seeing, tornado warnings and stuff currently. So anyway, I just wanted to pull that out and make that point. So is this when I have Olivia Munn and I bend her bend her over the bed, spread her butthole, and fuck her hard in the ass, and then fill her with my adamantium? I mean, so part of my thought on this is like, it looks like the light bulb's going off, and she's really liking that because that's what she's into. Because she's a sneaky kind of like, it's not cheating if it's in the ass. Like, yeah, it is, but since you don't care, and clearly John Mulvaney doesn't care, or it deserves to have his shit destroyed. His whole whatever fake family he's built. I mean, that he destroyed whatever some woman in order to like please Olivia Munn, which is just like what. But okay. And the whole stabbing thing, that was really never my point, but you are clearly communicating in this situation and have been for a while and have been This was my old Instagram, Yo Matt Ya, which got taken down. So just FYI, I had a lot of like evidence showing that there was something going on, and like they are communicating without speaking. And so it ultimately in 2001, I restarted it in my phone here, and then for the past 3 years, so we're almost a month away from it being 3 years, like people have been watching in a way that they shouldn't on my private photo gallery in my phone, and like for a while subtly hinting, and then more recently just overtly like letting it be known, especially within the context of the story and pictures, that yes, they're watching, and like duh. Participating in inciting seemingly people to perpetuate have been participating in did some evil hey, look, her left eye seems to be open, but Mark Kelly's left eye doesn't seem to be open. Who's doing the evil stuff in this situation? Because it seems like she's doing a lot of evil stuff. Does she have a Trappist? Does she have a bunch of kids or other kids that she hasn't? Does she have kids that she hasn't told people about? Does he have kids that they're doing some fake NASA experiments where they're like it's a laboratory and exactly what I'm saying here. And I've been saying like, are people having kids in secret and trying to make like very evil points and stuff like that? Yeah, I think they are inciting seemingly people to. In the way Gal Gadot had, she didn't have the kid in secret. She was just pregnant in secret. I mean, not on her public Instagram, and then all of a sudden she has a kid, another kid, which is like, okay, thanks for illustrating this point because that's a weird kind of shitty thing to do to your fans. Perpetuate them. Like people in public who are, I think a bunch of other people look at them and like they represent kind of like what things are. But anyway, abuse against me and broken forms of sexuality on me, which you're teaching to the next generation, and there are like, it's just you can't do this actually moving forward, and you would by you can't do this. It's like, well, you did it, but what happened is you got cancer. So I mean, can you do it? You did it. Did it? Is it working out how you want? I don't think so, because I'm calling you out for being such a terrible person, and then you have cancer deservedly, seemingly, and like I don't think you have any protection from Yahweh about not getting cancer again, and so I'm just suggesting that whatever evil has been perpetrated that she seems to be participating in is like coming back to like bite her in the butt. It's not karma; it's reaping what you sow. I mean, not just you have to speak up, but it's like. This is like a clear indicator of, I'm just showing the, and basically doing the same with this lady, except, I'm pretty sure she's going to be tossed in the lava. So, or maybe that's Olivia Munn. Maybe I was just hoping for that, but someone's getting tossed in the lava. But, wait. I guess Haley from Paramore likes that kind of. If I inject Olivia Munn's butthole, if I like turkey baste it with enough of my adamantium, you think it'll come out of her nose and mouth and eyes, eyes like that? I hope so. That'd be cool. I'd love a picture of that. We call it a money shot. MUNNY shot. And Paramore like a concubine. All right. Anyway. Hopefully this is hilarious, and if it's disturbing, welcome to my reality. I'm being disturbed constantly, but if it's like, and I fix the Stephanie Houston thing, I will in the least try to act normal again. But maybe people don't want that because I'm fucking hilarious. I would hope so, because this is funny to me. But okay, again, I have a warped sense of humor based on what's going on. So I'm going to dispute this, and I wanted to have this just because when I'm making these disputes, if I get something back that says anything, but like specifically like, this, that, or the other, or like this is a dispute made in bad faith, I can be like, well, no, it's not, and here's me disputing it and why I think this, that, or the other, and guess what? Copyright owners, Disney. Well, they seem to repeatedly, again, this seems to be the Magic Kingdom, the kingdom that, again, if you go to the Book of Genesis, like I really should not have to show this part, but if you go to the Book of Genesis and you go to Genesis 3 here, and it's the serpent talking to the woman, and the serpent talking to the woman, it's as it talks about in Revelation, that's the dragon or the snake. So when Stephanie Houston's doing stuff with Venom Snake, Serpent, snake, serpent, image of serpent, fleeing serpent. Now remember, I'm talking about the Magic Kingdom. We go click from this word. Hey, to practice divination, magic, divine, observe signs, learn by experience, diligently observe, practice fortune telling, take as an omen, take as an omen in. Or if you flip the E and the O and put a V in front of it, it's venom. To practice divination, to observe signs or omens, to hiss, to whisper. Speaking of venom, I wanted to show this. Actually, I think I saw it on here, so I'm going to go to my history real fast because I did see it here. Hey, and this guy, interestingly enough, popped back up on my YouTube today. This is the first time I've seen him since he was on my Instagram, or since I, was going through all that. This is why all this shit seems tied together to me, because I mean that just seems like a really unlikely thing to happen randomly. So if you give me a moment, there's a YouTube short that I watched today that was super relevant to what I'm talking about here. All right. Well, there's this black stone in Mecca, right?
At all.
This thing, and it's like on the corner. It's the cornerstone of the Kaaba. This, the thing that is in, and this is Apostate Prophet, so probably he wouldn't copyright strike me, but he's like, probably there's very little as far as people are concerned. There's probably no one doing more damage to Islam than me. So especially when I'm like, is the black stone literally venom from like Marvel, like some kind of symbiote thing? That's anyway. So this thing again, you get a white stone in Revelation, and it seems to be Jesus, the stone the builders refused, from Genesis 49, the blessing to Joseph. And I guess since I'm showing all this, and since I'm going up against Disney here, I'm gonna have some backup to show. Like, I mean, is this owned by like who owns Disney? That like what's going on here? Are you again? Is the Magic Kingdom against the Kingdom of Heaven, or is it like, oh, maybe it's a IP knockoff, but we don't disagree with what he's saying, so maybe he's Mickey Mouse actually? Else you're directly contra the Kingdom of Heaven, right? So it's either you guys are either the enemies of God and all mankind, Disney, or you're working with me, and the Magic Kingdom is my kingdom, and the magic's really the divine power of Yahweh. The Son. Well, technically the Son and Father, but the divine power of Yahweh, Jesus' Father. Jesus being the Son, and like again, what have I said that you don't like? I don't know. I like probably nothing that I've said. Probably just what other supposed Christians are doing. But I think I'm probably a better example of Christianity than them. But okay, this thing, if you kiss it, it's a black stone, as opposed to by the name of the stone of Israel, Q. By the name of the stone of Israel, Yahweh. This one, or even when you see Allah, and this is El Shaddai, the El here, if you put a Hey at the end of it, it would be Aleph Lamed Hey instead of just Aleph Lamed. Aleph Lamed is a god or a deity. Aleph Lamed Hey is a feminine deity. Allah. So Allah is a feminine deity according to the language. And, that seems to be about right. It's a knockoff of Yahweh.
No one really knows its origin or what it.
So it's like supposedly a meteorite. I think it's probably venom, actually. And if you kiss it, it forgives your sins. Well, I think, when it's talking about in Revelation, if you go here and you go to the third church, right? The 7 churches of Asia, you go to the third church. In the third church, you get if you are victorious, and it says to the one who proves victorious, that this says to those who prove victorious, but the one who proves victorious, I will give you hidden mana and white stone, with a new name written on it, known only to the man. And then again, all this stuff, including like it says an iron scepter to shatter them, and this is the one with a sharp sword, double edged. You go down here to Revelation 19. All the gifts that are given are most of the gifts that are given are represented in this. I would even say in specifically this section. The eyes were flames of fire. That's how he says at the third church. But how about this? From his mouth came a sharp sword to strike the pagans with. That's a sharp sword, double edged. He's the one who will rule them with an iron rod. Okay. On his cloak and on his thigh, there is a name written: King of Kings, Lord of Lords, on his thigh. And then here it says he is known by the name, the Word of God. And the name written on him was known only to himself. So as opposed to the name written, on the Blackstone there, which is it Venom? But the stone written, like this one, it's like, well, doesn't seem like anybody would know it except the one who receives it. But I can tell you it's a white stone as opposed to a black stone. Does it have to do with race? No. Though my family are the Stones. We could ask Gal Gadot about the Heart of Stone, but I think it's more like a Heart of Flesh in this instance, and I got a white stone with a new name written on it, and probably that's the Stone of Israel. Okay, so as opposed to the stone of a bunch of Arabs pretending to be Israel's ancient enemies, the Palestinians, because those people do not exist anymore. Ostensibly, they were sea peoples, aka probably Greek-ish, or that kind of Mediterranean people. They weren't Arabs. That's why this thing is all confused. And when Bella Hadid is just saying stuff, she's just they literally, all that Bella Hadid stands for, other than claiming to be Palestinian and stuff, is that she's an Arab born in a region that has been renamed Palestine. But and she's not born there. It's her family's from Nazareth. And they could put, during the short period of time where there was a what do they call it? A mandate territory. It was called Palestine. But again, instead of starting an actual country with that mandate territory, they started a war because they wanted the Jews' land. And the Jews, when they started a country, and then Israel, right? The Jews started Israel in 1948. Instead of starting after mandate Palestine and instead of making a country called Palestine, then I guess you could say there is a Palestine. They started a war and lost the war. And it was very violent and evil, and it's the same type of stuff that's going on now. They just keep repeating it. History keeps repeating itself until someone points out it's just some kind of venom thing that's going on where they're just trying to kill the Jews and steal their land because they don't like Jews, because they're Nazis, because they can't see how stupid this looks, that they're kissing a Blackstone instead of, send me all the hot babes, even all the hot Arab babes. I love Arabs, but, they're lying. But send them here. I'd love, they can kiss me. All the hot babes. Send all the hot babes to come kiss me. I would love it, actually, and I'll forgive their sins, right? But, reasonably, you can just believe in Jesus and on Jesus, and he'll forgive your sins. So, okay, now that I'm just making sure you get that the Magic Kingdom, and it says whisper a magic spell. Okay, a snake is a magician. So, do I have a fair use? Yeah, I think so. I think I've made a point that this is looks like it's my IP, but, if I'm going to have to do something humiliating like this to get my IP back, okay. How do you think it ends for you? You think it probably ends like it's ending for Olivia Munn? And that means not well at all? Probably. Seems like she's deserving everything that she's getting. So, if she wants to not do that, she can come and bring her butthole and spread it wide and believe in Jesus and, kiss the white stone and, spread her butthole. But are you mad that I'm saying that? She's a terrible person. I need some kind of change. Deal with the Stephanie Houston thing. I will shut the fuck up. How does that sound? I think, though, the reason they aren't doing it is because once you deal with the Stephanie Houston thing, why would I shut the fuck up? You owe me so much when you have to acknowledge what you've done. We're done. So, okay. I'm going to say commentary. And I discuss how, I give my own commentary throughout the short portion. This is used in my video. I have applied my own overlay elements as well. There is no monetization, and I don't know how to. And I just want the video to be seen. This clearly falls within fair use doctrine. But you know, as I've been saying, fair use, when it says fair use is not a magical formula. Why? Fair use should absolutely be a magical formula, like not a magical formula, like a scientific formula. The only reason it's not is because these companies are acting evil, and if they do something and you're using their stuff and they want to make a point to you and they want to be evil, then they can shut you up. If that's what Disney wants to do, then they're the evil Magic Kingdom. And, you know, if Olivia Munn's getting cancer, I can only assume all these other people associated with this kind of thing would get cancer. If they want to let me use what seems to be my own intellectual property, then cool. That would be great. Would I stop people from using it? No. You can make all the points you want with anything that I've done. If you want to take my own mix and make it into a bigger mix, go for it. I mean, as long as you say that, hey, this portion of it was made by Matt Wilkins or Milkins or whatever, cool. I mean, thanks. Are you making money from it? Okay, then maybe we'll talk. But, like, you know, for the most part, if you're just making art to make art, I would love to see my stuff and stuff. You know, I'm surprised at all these other artists that I put there. Like, you know, when I'm doing this and I'm talking about this Tracy person, right? And we'll get into that in a second. But I'm like, you know, if I was them, I'd be thrilled to see, like, hey, my thing fit into something bigger and better. But okay, they got 30 days, and you know, if it's not within 48 hours, if they haven't made a decision, it'll be released, and you'll be able to actually go and see it. Is there anything else in it that I might want to look at? Actually, maybe the 15 million merits. Now that you know, now that these videos are back up, and this one looks like it could be back up, but yeah, let's look at the Black Mirror portion, and then. I don't have to watch the whole thing. And I even looks like I made and it's not cheating if it's in the ass thing. And look, I was saying she's a subversive whore back then, and then she broke up a marriage and had a kid as a rape joke. So, I mean, are there multiple Olivia Munns? Because she does look different, you know, in here, but, you know, people do just get older. So, I mean, okay. So this episode of Black Mirror is, you know, yeah, Black Mirror stuff, and then we're done. Because, I mean, I even still have the same like, I haven't changed that much, huh? Other than my voice is deeper, and I'm stronger and faster and, like, better in every way, but maybe I don't look as handsome. I look pretty handsome there, huh? But, obviously I got some, I'm not unconfident in myself. I get to watch that 15 million merits? Is there a thing? How about this? I am gonna just go to this. I'm not gonna pull up the thing. What I was saying earlier with the artist stuff is like, you know, if I saw that, you know, we could ask Enigma Dubs or something, unless he's doing some evil stuff too. But even then, I'd be like, damn, he is Batman. But, you know, like, if I was him and he's saying I'm not Batman or a bad man, and then I'm like, oh, maybe it's Superman, actually. But if I saw my stuff in something like this, like, you know, here's Enigma Dubs Schizo. You know, if I saw someone using my, like, mixes, I mean, my tracks, like, hey, I made this track. If people made something like this, I'd be very impressed, to be honest. Like, I'd just be like, oh, cool. This is actually maybe it's original. This is maybe the intent that, like, whatever spiritual thing controls everything wanted my art to be used with anyway. So to Enigma Dubs, thanks, dude. I mean, unless you've done something evil, but if you haven't, hey, this is James Bond, right? And this is our Bond. This is my bro. Unless he's not my bro. But I'm just making jokes here. I mean, am I? I don't know. Are you my friend, James, or not? I don't seem to have friends these days, so I mean, actually, mostly because of the Stephanie Jewson thing, because it's driving me fucking crazy. But is that my fault or is it her fault because she's a venomous kind of evil person like all these other people? Yes, yes. Which one? Yes. Okay. Hey, look. Also, ASMR Glow. I'll put this up. So ASMR Glow. I watch a number of ASMR artists. I really like her ASMR, but it seems like she's one of these people. Like when I showed you I don't even have to like do it like that. I can pull it back up like this, where it says diviner, enchanter, whisper a spell, like whisper a magic spell, right? Whisper a magic spell. Who whispers a lot? Oh, ASMR artists, and they make you all tingly and stuff. And there's other words that I can find you other things that indicate magic and whispering go together, and throwing your voice also a form of that. But here you got ASMR Glow. I think she's a babe, honestly. Very hot. If she wants to come kiss me and like the White Stone thing, cool. If she wants to, the butthole thing that I'm saying, hey Sharon. Uh, but in any instance, and I like her ASMR. There's also other things like where I sent some stuff at one point to her uh, on Instagram, and like I sent messages at like art related like music called whatever glow and different things, and then all of a sudden the next day as I was driving, and I've shown this before too, like I get the like in the video where I show on that Alessandra Ambrosio is laughing octopus, how I showed the quiet license plate that you know one moment, just to confirm that this type of shit does happen. uh right, and so there's a lot of these instances where like I'm driving around and there's this Camaro that has quiet on it, right? And then quiet filmed in Mexico. Is that ASMR Glow? Could be. But in any instance, it seems like something's going on where people are trying to communicate points and again harass me and like make it plausibly deniable that it's not happening, and it's really mentally taxing and stuff. And like this is one of the reasons like turned into like the Recluse, like that Plan B track that Nero remixed. It's like I don't want to leave home. I'm just like I'm shut in and stuff because like it's so mentally taxing to even leave the house. It's even mentally taxing to do this, and this is basically virtual reality, but like you know after sending ASMR Glow stuff, all of a sudden I got a like when I was driving to go play soccer at Toros, there was a car and it said glow catastrophic. So I'm assuming there's some super evil something going on, and then there's here's one that is not as directly this can be just whatever. But I keep seeing this sign that recently got put up that says Sharon Parker. Now, does that have something to do with Sharon here and Parker, or what? Parker Clark? I don't know. That's what comes to mind. But if not, well, then would you not get why something like envenoming me like a snake, trying to mess with my head? This even looks like the crescent moon, so it's like more of that like Islam wizardry symbol, witches and wizards, and then you got a snake and like a snake, right? Whisper a magic spell, and so these women who they think they're Harry Potter because most of them love Harry Potter because she's like the type of girl that would love Harry Potter, and as I've said, is the right back for the Houston Dynamo, is his name just a Harry Potter joke? Griffin Dorsey, and it's like Gryffindor. See, I mean, actually, is that what it is? I don't know, but I'm just trying to like deal with a stressful situation, and it's hard. Also, I find it really stressing because she's like really attractive to me, and then like I spend a lot of time watching her real cute face that I like and stuff like that, and like she's making me comfortable, and then all of a sudden she makes me really uncomfortable because now her fiance's in it. And she didn't realize how kind of shitty and like bad that would make her fans feel. Then she's just unaware. Or again, the point is to be like a snake, and he's the snake that's using her, right? Or she's a snake that's using him, or they're both snakes and they're using each other. But even if he's your fiance, I mean, according to Olivia Munn, Sharon, this is I'm not sure if this is true or not, but it does seem like maybe it's true for you, and if it's true for you, I'd love for you to come and like bend over my bed and we can spread your butthole, and like I would love to fuck you in the ass. But if that's inappropriate, well, blame Olivia Munn and blame Stephanie Justin, and like stop doing this stuff where you're like making people like you and then you all of a sudden have a fiance that you haven't like you've hinted at because the rings, but whatever. Or like I don't watch your stuff enough to know that you have a fiance or something. But is it a problem that I'm acting like this? I need some, blame Olivia Munn, but also I was not doing this again when the Stephanie Justin situation wasn't so fucking insane that like she's literally taunting now and people are still saying like just ignore it. It destroyed my life previously because people didn't believe it. I'm not letting it do that now, but you could clearly see it's like a venom that has struck me again. And like I was trying to avoid it. So it's unfair for me. It's unfair to have this double standard. And I'm trying to point it out and I'm trying to show how detrimental it is when someone acts like that and when people pretend it's not happening, and it is a huge evil double standard and all these people should feel terrible, and this situation is cancerous and people are getting cancer around it. Do I want Sharon to get cancer here? No, she seems like a sweet girl, other than being a snaky kind of fucking evil lady, maybe. But if she's not, well, cool. And like one of the things that I'm pointing this out for is she's always doing these things where she wants to see Ya. Specifically, it's written like this: I want to see Ya, 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 I want to see Ya. Raising money for puppies. Is that my dog tur? Are you gonna help me get my dog tur? I would love that. I want to see Ya. 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 I want to see Ya too. So come here. I want to see Ya. Meet the family and everything. I want to see Ya. I want to see Ya. I want to see Ya. All donations go to a dog shelter. Does my dog tur get to come and like this is the dog shelter, right? My two dogs. Come join. Come join. Come join. I. Come join. And then, that was a year ago. Now it's don't be shy, come join. But actually, it was after I started watching her things, it became, about what, 7 months ago? Or 8 months ago? Are you pregnant? I want to see ya. I want to see ya. I want to see ya. I want to see. Get what I'm saying? And then you're like, well, she could just be saying that because, it's just a phrase, and it's like, well, these people aren't religious, but the fact that she seems to be making points specifically to me, and hallelujah, and it seems like exactly how I use emojis too. So I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So Sharon, you cutie here, wearing a thing that says milky something. What a cutie, huh? I love her ASMR. Oh, she's such a cutie, and I love her ASMR. I mean, actually, maybe she's my dog. But again, this is how I defend myself against these ladies who've gone way too crazy. So if I seem whatever, okay, deal with the Stephanie Justin thing. I'll chill out, actually. And it has to be dealt with in a way that is like appropriate to me. It's not just like she disappears and like, so I've been bit by a snake and then like the snake's gone, and it's like, no, I can't even get the anti venom now. What the fuck? So I need some anti venom because I've been bit by some kind of snake that's causing me problems, and people are just pretending it's not happening. So the whole milk thing that I was talking about. Well, because I DJ as Milkins, Wap Milkins, and so milk, 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 and I've been DJing as Milkins for a long time. So milky, it's just like just a really subtle way for her to be a snaky kind of whispery wizard lady. Also, we can like work you out and get your legs looking nice because she's got a really nice body otherwise and like a really cute face and stuff like that. But her legs are kind of like not super nice, but we can make them really nice. So, and she even says that I think sometimes. So, and it's just the truth. But we could get her legs really nice. We'll do some squats and stuff. I like doing squats, Bulgarian split squats specifically. That'll get her legs super nice, and she can feel comfortable in her own skin again. How does that sound? Okay, yeah, let's do that. And again, your fiance wouldn't, it's not cheating if it's in the ass, according to Olivia Munn. So, bring your ass, and it won't be cheating. Your asshole, so that and yeah, it won't be cheating. Do I have to whisper for you to understand me? Welcome to the ASMR section of this copyright dispute. Fast and aggressive, fast and aggressive. Anyway, okay, I'm just messing around. Okay. But yeah, I might have even lost track of what I was getting on here to look up. So if you give me a moment, Black Mirror, and that's where we're ending. Do I want to even do this part? Only because look, it's this thing, and it's where it's like, oh, okay, let's watch it, and then because I just don't want to be copyright struck. So let me make sure that this is the thing. Essentially, he's in this box, which I feel like I'm in some kind of box, right? And he's like falls in love with this girl who's his friend or something, and then all of a sudden, she's like she chooses instead of to be friends with him, she chooses to go be a part of a porn thing, and it like destroys him. And so, and like he makes a point about it at the very end where he's like he says this, and I can even like, how about this? It's in this mix on here. We can go to it, and I play here, and we go to where is it? It's gonna be somewhere around here. Hey, hey, 1981. Who was born in 1981? It says aimless. I guess both Beyonce and Alessandra Ambrosio. Both Beyonce and Alessandra Ambrosio were born in 1981. That's what I'm making that point. But, oh, and proper harlot, you see? Hey, and the Empress mech, the Empress Gundam mech thing that I'm talking about. This part is from the speech that you're about to hear is from Black Mirror, and then I'm gonna end it here. But here, we'll just pull up the actual thing. It's from this mix though, Yo Matt Ya, and it's the one with me as a little cow. Whenever you're doing the horns up here in Houston, I'm that horn. I'm the horns. You get it? I am the Texans. I'm Toro. You get it? This is me. I'm little. This is me as little Toro. This is me as big Toro. Please come and milk me because I need that. I need some healing, some sexual healing. Come milk me. Come bring me milk. Okay. So I'm talking in the thing where I'm talking about Reshef and the plague deity, and then all of a sudden, human case of bird flu detected in Texas after outbreak of virus among cattle. Hmm.
Going where? Going where? Powering what? All tiny cells and tiny screens, and bigger cells and bigger screens, and fuck you! Fuck you! That's what it boils down to, is fuck you! Fuck you for sitting there and slowly making things worse! Fuck you and your spotlight, the sanctimonious faces, and fuck you all for taking the one thing I ever came close to anything real about anything! For oozing around it and crushing it into a bone, into a joke! One more ugly joke in the kingdom of millions of them fuck! Fuck you for handling! Fuck you for me! For everyone! Fuck you!
No, it's like the scene. He's basically saying, F you for making everything into a joke, like you're, sanctimonious, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can hear it, you can look it up. But some of this is also, hey, isn't Borgor Israeli? So what's with the crescent moon symbolism? Is this more, I don't know, let's ask Gal Gadot. But in the left hand and the right hand stabbing through on the left hand, and it's drawing blood. I think this is talking about, like, again, so I talked about virgin sacrifices, but maybe not, but seems like something like that. Hey, YTZ. Is this YTZ Ion? And I get 144,000 virgins sealed to the tribes of Israel? And 2 girlfriends? Friend? I get. Could be. So, and the bird flu thing, that actually is like, probably when I'm saying this, and you see these signs that are like, hey, this is really going on. Yeah, but okay. I don't really have anything else to add other than that's the scene, and I've been trying to point that out, and it's like kind of that thing that I'm saying, hey, you made it into a joke. Like Olivia Munn, literally the reason she picked a comedian to do that with, because it's supposed to be, she's trying to make it hard on people, like it's a joke. Your reality is a joke, and I'm taking it lightly, and whatever. Then she gets cancer. So does it seem deserved? Yeah, it does actually. If she doesn't want it to be, come bring your butthole, spread it. I'll heal you. But otherwise, like, does she deserve it? No. And even if she came and brought her butthole and spread it, that isn't the thing that would undeserve it. I'm just trying to. Those are my claws that I'm using. So to whoever, when people were pissed off at me earlier, like in my life, I guess in 2018 when I was recording these things, and they were like, you're saying all these inappropriate stuff, and you're whatever, people are being harassed, and it's like, clearly there's a situation going on where people are harassing me and pretending they aren't. How do I defend myself? They're doing it silently. I'm completely willing to do it, like, balls to the wall, claws out, like, fuck you. You have to give me something to defend myself. It's self-defense. It's not okay that they can tear down my ego, but I don't get a way to, like, strike back at them. So if this is the counter-strike, well, now you understand why. And people are getting hurt when they're trying to make points to me in, like, ways that only God could hurt people. Cancer is something God does to people, not whatever. Actually, Satan does it too, but, like, in the sense that where it seems justified with her, yeah. Cancer is also something God can heal. So if you're seeing this and it's like, oh, maybe if I pray to Yahweh and believe it, that's the most important thing. Believe it, believe in Jesus. I believe he will heal you. I'll empower that. Yeah. Not if you've done something wrong that's giving it to you, like Olivia Munn, but if something else is going on. You live in a place like Fifth Ward here, where they're dealing with this stuff over by the train tracks. I'm not kidding. Praying to Yahweh, like he's healed my family members when they got it. Even I'm not even sure if they deserved it, but he's healed it. So I would just suggest that, and yeah, I'm gonna end this here though, so it ends exactly at 2 hours. But I'm not trying to cause problems. I want to stop being hurt by Stephanie Justin, whatever this situation is. I want to get on with my life, and I want my dogs. So Alessandra and Andre Ambrosio, it'd be cool if I could get my seeing eye dogs, my service dogs, my dogter, and my daughter. Dogter. Anyway, All right, have a blessed one. I'll catch you next time. See you later. Yeah.